and welcome back to the channel. It has been a little bit over a month and I've been on a very nice trip to the Norwegian mountains. So I really need a break because the last few months have been a little bit stressful with a lot of work going on. And I've also managed to make a new technique in Houdini. So today I'm gonna show you how to make this really awesome wavy growth effect. It's a infection system in Houdini. So it's really awesome because it's procedural, so you can plug anything into it and it will just work. So without further ado, let's just jump into Houdini and let's see how to do this awesome effect. So here in Houdini we're gonna make this awesome grow on effect. And we're gonna start off by making a geonode. Let's jump into the geonode. Let's make a grid. And this grid we can pipe into a remesh. So here we have our starting geometry. Alright, first of all I'm just gonna make a null here. And I'm gonna place it between the remesh and the grid. And I'm gonna call it input. So we are essentially gonna make a machine down here, and whatever we put into it, we'll be able to make this flowing thing on it. So here I'm gonna take the remesh and I'm gonna set the target size to 0.1, and then I'm gonna duplicate the remesh and I'm gonna set the target size to 0.5. Alright, so first of all we're going to make a group, if I can spell it, right? And then we can duplicate this group, so we actually have two groups down here. Then we'll go into our group 1, we'll call it start, and go into our group 2 and call it end. Alright. Yes, cool. First of all we need to select them both and select. And we need to set the type to points. Then we can go into group 1 here. And we can select some points down here. Alright, so in our group 2, we'll select every particle and we'll do that by putting in a asterisk. Alright. And then we get into the fun part. So we'll make a find shortest path node here, and we'll pipe it into this, and inside of the find shortest path we are going to select our start and our end points, which is our start and our end group. Alright, then we can go down to output path and we can set this to from any start to each end. And here you can see we have lines going from our starting points to, any of the endpoints. Then we'll go ahead and make a resample node here. And in this resample node, we'll just go and set this to max segments like this. So we get this kind of tree look down here. And I'll just do something like 10. And then one more thing that is crucial for this to work is that we go down here and we check on this curve view attribute. And this curve view attribute you can actually visualize if you go here to this information icon, click on it, and you can click on the curve view. And down here on this, you should have a scene descriptor called curve view. So now you can actually see what that's doing. So the curve view is mapping colors from the starting point to the end point. And that is actually what we're gonna need to make this effect work. So we'll make a new node called attribute transfer. And we first of all need some geometry to transfer the attribute onto, which is this remesh. And then we need the geometry which we should transfer the attribute from. And as you can see now, we have some ugly mess down here. And we can't really use this. So let's fix it. So let me go and change the source group to points and the destination group to points. Then we can take off all of the primitives and we can set the points to curve view. So this is the only thing we're transferring, is the curve view. So then we can go into conditions over here, and inside of conditions, we can take this max symbol count and we can pull it up. And as we pull it up, you can see we're beginning to make a gradient here. And what we want to do here is make a really soft gradient so we don't have any of these jitters or small inconsistencies in our gradient. So let's set it to 200. Let's just try it. And yeah, it could work. You could also set it to 100. That's also cool. So actually, let's go up here to our remesh, because I think we'll need a little bit more detail. So let's set that to around 0.02, and that should give us like so much detail to work with. Yeah, crazy good. So now you can actually see now we are getting more of the gradients definition. And let's also go to our remesh over here and actually make a little bit more of some lines. And what we need to do now is actually go into this start, and we need to group some points again. All right, awesome. This is looking so much better. We're getting these flowing lines and they are transitioning out and they're getting soft. So let's go into our attribute transfer again. Let's bring this number up a bit more, like 200. That should be fine. Maybe 150. Yeah, that's cool. All right, I still want some definition in these ones. So what we're going to do now is actually make a wrangle, a point wrangle. And inside of this point wrangle, we're going to type something very easy. So what we want to do is convert this curve view color to color data. So right now, as you can see, we just have a white plane, but we need this curve view attribute. All right. So what we can do is we can type add cd equals add curve view and then a semicolon. All right. As simple as that. Let's preview the node. And as you can see, we have transferred the attribute to color data now. Awesome. All right, so now we get into the fun stuff, actually making the ripples. So we'll create a VOP, a point VOP, and we'll just choose the first input. So let's preview this and let's jump into it. All right, so first of all, we need to add a ramps node. And this is what is going to drive our whole effect. So let's take our color and let's put it into our hue. Let's take the amount and let's connect it to our output color here. And then we can mess with the frequency here. And as you can see, we have these awesome looking waves here. And if we take the offset, we can see we have waves that are moving. Awesome. So I'll just go ahead and set this to like something like 5, maybe 10. Yeah, I think 5 should be good for now. And then the blur radius here. You can see if we increase it, you can see we get a more blurry look, but right now it's also a bit noisy. So let's take it up to like 100. And that should be totally fine. So what I want to do now is actually make it move. So if you middle mouse click on this parameter here, offset, then you can say promote parameter, and then we can go out a step, and then we have this offset parameter. Cool. So then we'll go and say $f times 0.01. And let's see what that did. Yeah, it made the whole thing move. All right, cool. So now it's moving on a time-based scale. Awesome. So let's go inside again, and now we can actually work with this. So what we need to do first is that we need this wave to look a little bit more cool. So I'll create a ramp parameter right here, and I'll just call it ramp 01, just not to get confused, because we're going to create a lot of ramps in this system. So when you create a ramp, you actually can control it inside of here. You actually need to go outside of the VOP, and then you can control the parameter. Awesome. So what I want to do now is actually make this so it's black on each side. And yeah, something kind of like this maybe. Kind of like this, where we have a bright side here and then we have a fall off. And I think for us to actually really see that, we need to turn down our blur again. And let's go out here and let's see. Yeah, this is what we're looking for. Kind of like this. So we get these waves. Let's go inside again and let's actually try to turn this up to something like 25. Maybe a little bit more. I just want to get rid of this edge here because that's gonna be trouble. And that's just going to jitter all around. And I really don't want that. So I just wanna like take the edge in here just to make it a little bit more of a gradient. All right. Awesome. So something like this. Yes, so now we actually have these waves that have a direction. Awesome. And right now, I think we should address the biggest problem. And that is these are too noisy. So what I'm going to do is that I'm quickly going to make a attribute blur. And I'm just going to put it here. And then I'm going to delete the P. And I'm going to make it use the curve U attribute. And already you can see we got a lot of this noise away. But if we set it to 1 and then set this to 10 in the duration, you can see we have a lot more control of what is actually going on. All right, so let's set it to something like 0.6. That's looking awesome. So yeah, this is more the look we're going for. And remember, you can always adjust your gradient down here. So let's go into our point warp again. And let's create a turbulent noise. Let's put it down here. And let's take the position from the position over here, the P. So now let's drive the ramp down here, ramp 01, into the offset and also into the amplitude. Let's connect it to the color, and now you can see we have some noise. And I found that the bigger the noise is, the better this actually works. So let's set it to 0.2, and that is going to like stretch our noise super wide. So now we get this kind of look, which is looking pretty awesome. These waves that are morphing is looking really, really good. All right, so now let's go in here. Let's increase the frequency to 10 maybe. And let's see. Yeah, we have a lot of waves and it's looking awesome. Cool. So right now we have these waves and they're looking good, but we still need them to kind of have a start and also have a end where it becomes solid and has no wave. So how do we do this? Well, first of all, let's make some space over here. And then we need to make a add. And in this add, we can take in our color. And then we need to duplicate our ramp here. Let's disconnect it here. And let's plug in the add to the ramp. Let's call this ramp 02. And now we need to make a mix. So let's make a mix here. And now we can connect this to our color. All right. So in this add down here, I'm also going to promote the second input. And let's jump out again. So what we can do here with our second input down here is that we can control the beginning and the end of our gradient. So let's set this to 0.3. Let's set a keyframe down here. Let's go a little bit further. Let's say minus 0.3. All right. So now we should have this animation. And it's pretty quick, as you can see. And and I think we actually need to make the numbers a bit higher. One thing I forgot is that I need to turn on this real-time toggle, so we're actually playing it in real time. All right, so let's make this minus 0.8. All right, awesome. So now we actually have something going on. Cool. So let's select this and let's go into our animation editor. And as you can see now, it has a little ease on it, a start and a stop ease. So we'll just make it straight. All right, like this. So now we have a linear movement. Cool. All right, so let's go into our point warp again. Let's make a mix. Let's put this one into our bias because that is what is going to be controlling the color. And let's put the noise and all of the waves into input 2. All right, cool. So as you can see now, we have this ramp that's slowly fading off. And it's a bit soft. So what I want to do now is actually go into our ramp 02 we created here. And let's just clamp it together. So you can see now, we have the ramp going away. And we have a pretty nice controller for it, as you can see here. So let's just set it to this for now, because we're definitely going to change it later. And let's also go up here and let's make it run a bit faster in the time. So 0.05. And that should be much better. So now everything is actually working pretty awesome. So we'll go into our point warp again. And from here we need to create another ramp. And let's call it 03. And this ramp will actually go and make a export. So we'll make a bind export. And he will make a parameter that's called cd_ramp. And this cd_ramp will use in a moment. Cool. So this is actually all we need to do inside of our point warp. You can always go in here and change up how it looks. But yeah, let's go out and let's see, we got a new controller down here. All right. Cool. So what we want to do now is we want to create the start of our growth effect. Of course, we don't want the whole plane to be visible in this animation because that doesn't make sense at all. But we want it to start as a little wave here and then slowly transition into the big plane. All right, so how do we do that? Well, we actually already did it. because the parameter that we created here, the CD ramp, we'll actually go and use that in a point wrangle. So let's create a point wrangle and let's go and say if, and then parentheses, the attribute we made, so CD underscore ramp, add CD underscore ramp. So if our new attribute is higher than 0.5, let's say that, then we will remove the point, so a remove point, and make parentheses again. Then write in here 0 and then add PT number, our point number. All right, awesome. So this code should work. And it is. It is just working in the wrong direction. But fortunately, we can go down here to our ramp and we can control everything. So we can just reverse it and it doesn't matter. All right, awesome. So let's go to the beginning of our sequence here. And let's see what we have. So I think maybe something like this could work. And then when it grows out, you can see we're actually growing on this effect. All right, awesome. And as you can see, it's a bit too fast, but that is actually this input 2 that we need to adjust. So this is our keyframes down here. So we can just pull them out a bit. And then we just need to match the timing a bit better. And what we can also do, which is a pretty nice effect, is that we can have all of the waves running a bit faster than the actual animation. So it's more building up this plane here. So we can just go here and say 0.1, and then our waves should run twice as fast. All right, so this should be working now so much better. So what you can do now is actually go and control all of the parameters, which is pretty nice. You don't have to dive into the VOB anymore. So as you can see, I can really easily make this cutoff point where it gets black more soft or more sharp, like this. Awesome. And one more thing we need to fix is these edges down here. They don't look great at all. So we'll make a smooth. And then we'll go and take the smooth. We'll put the boundary mode to unshared edges. And we'll put the quality of the filter down to 1. And then we can bring this up a bit, maybe 25. So now you can see it's looking so much better when I turn it off and on. All right. Oh, the effect is actually working. Cool. So let's make it null and let's call it out. And there you have the effect. You can use this in a material if you want to, or I can quickly just show you if I made a point warp down here and we dive into the point warp. We can make a displace along edges and we can actually make this displace. So we can put these in and then we can take our color data, put it into the amount. And as you can see, everything is rising up beautifully. And yeah, we actually have something that is displaced. And once you have displaced, you can go into your point warp and maybe we need to bring this down a bit. Or actually get a bit more of this wavy look that is connecting. Yeah, maybe kind of this. And then actually let's make another smooth out here. Let's just set it to none. And let's just set to like 5. Awesome. They're still displaced. And what we can do now, because you can see the output is really, really, really low on this. Let's actually go here to our point up and we can go into it. First of all, I want to change the noise so it's a bit lower. Something more like this, or maybe we should turn it up actually. Something more like this. I think that could be kind of fun. So we get more variation in it. That's kind of cool. Then one more thing I really need to do is make a fit range and put it in here at the end. And then we need to set the max destination to 2. Because now we can really start to actually see what this is doing. So let's set it to 4. Yeah, this is really displaced and it's looking great. Let's go out again. Let's go in here and let's turn down the displacement. All right, cool, awesome. So now we have these really, really awesome ripples that are running over the surface at different heights, and they are noise displaced, which is pretty awesome. One more thing to remember is that you can always go up here into the input and put another kind of primitive or another object. So if I would go into the test objects, maybe take Mr. Pighead here and put it in here. And then we need to go to this starting point. And let's just say these ones here. This is the starting point. Yeah, let's give him a little bit more geometry to work with. And as you can see, we have our lines, we have our resample lines, we have our curve view, and we're running it to the system, and we're displacing it. And here you go. Here you have Mr. Pighead. That is awesome. So I accidentally selected more points than 1, but as you can see, it's still working super good. And we have these waves that are creating him, which is pretty awesome. And for this one, I will go in and I would just take the frequency up a bit so we have some more variation on him. So like noise like this. And then you can see you get more noisy stuff and it's looking a bit more organic. Cool. Awesome. So that is how to create this awesome setup. Here you have the whole setup, and as I showed you, you can put anything in there you want. You just maybe need to select some start points, and then everything should be totally procedural. Alright, so that was how to create this really awesome wavy growth effect. And if you have learned anything from this video, then please go down, show me some love in the comments, and you can also subscribe to get notified when I upload a new video. So if you decide to use this technique, well, then please tag me on Instagram so I can see all of you guys' awesome work, and so we can share this technique with everybody we know. And if you want to talk to other like-minded 3D artists, then you can go down in the description where you can join the 3D design community. And in this community, you can share your stuff with other like-minded people, and you can also get help if you are in a bit of a pickle. So as always, go out there, make some awesome renders, and I'll see you back here on the channel for some more Houdini magic. Goodbye.